Hey guys, welcome to Module 3, Video 3. This is the final video of this week, this exciting week of really clearing up the roadblocks that are in your way. What happened yesterday or the day before? How was the process that you went through? I'm really excited to hear about it, and I would love for you to post in the group exactly what your experience was like if you haven't done it already. Because this is the foundation of everything, like I said on that first video. The foundation of clearing up whatever is holding you back in such a significant way, and using a strategy that most people wouldn't do because they're scared of obviously getting themselves and express themselves, but you did it amazingly. And if you did it amazingly, obviously you'll feel a lot different, and you're probably seeing changes already in your life, and obviously the fear around what you used to be afraid of. So I'm super excited, and I'm really excited to go over what we're going to be going over today. You know, after we've done that process that you can do over and over again to limit and clear up the limiting beliefs, this session is all on different ways on how to overcome limiting beliefs, because that's one way. That's an intense way to obviously go overcome it fast. But there's obviously other ways that you can do it as well, which is probably a little less intense, but you can still use these strategies. So I want to give you as much as possible, obviously, in this course and throughout this video, so you can obviously leave here and say, what are some other limiting beliefs? Because I want you to kind of feel like it's an onion, like you're an onion. And each time we peel back a layer, there's always going to be something else that comes up. You know, there's never going to be a time where you're not going to have shit that comes up in your life, shit and limiting beliefs that come up and get triggered off or installed again. And what we just need to do is we have to keep conditioning it. And obviously next week is all on rituals and setting up rituals. So I want this to kind of be a ritual as well. You know, a ritual to overcome limiting beliefs so we can get rid of what's holding you back on a consistent basis. Because when we do, your life's going to be a lot more funner. You know, you're going to be a lot more happier because you're not going to have so many rules around what it takes for you to feel happy. Because that's the reason most people aren't happy. They have so many big rules. I have to be successful. I have to have this car. I have to have all these things in order to be happy. And they live in rules. They live in rules, and the only reason they live in those rules is because they haven't challenged those rules. The way I see it is, if I wake up in the morning and my rule and my belief is, if I wake up, I'm happy. You know, if I look up and say, do you know what, it's another day of life, that's happy for me. And that's the way I've set up my life, and that's the way I want you to set up your life, because a lot of people are in so much pain. You know, in so much pain, and I can tell them they've got so many rules around their life. You know, this person has to say a certain thing in order for me to feel loved. This person has to say a certain thing in order for me to feel happy. We put our happiness on other people or other people on whatever they believe. So I really want you to understand that the less rules that we have, the more happy you're going to be. And there was something that I heard was, if you have a lot of kids, all of a sudden there was this person that had so many kids, he had like 10 to 20 kids or something like that. But there was a story around it, and he said, how do you do it? How do you not be stressed? And he said, don't have so many rules. Because if you have so many rules, they're just going to break them, and you're going to feel stressed and overwhelmed. And if you want to live a happier life, let go of the rules. This is super important around this. And you've got to wake up to yourself and ask yourself, what does it take for me to feel happy? What has to happen in order for me to feel happy? And that'll give you a good indication of rules. You know, what has to happen? You know, I have to make this money, I have to do this. And all of a sudden, all these things will start coming up, and you'll find out your rules around it. And the secret to doing that is asking yourself a question while your eyes are closed, and whatever comes up first is the answer. So many people say something, I have to make a car, and they're like, oh, no, that's what I really mean. But that's what your subconscious mind is. And if you want to get clear on things and ask yourself, and your subconscious mind answers, and you want to get answers, all you got to do is ask yourself questions and always hear them and hear what you first said. Because when you hear what you first said, that's your subconscious mind speaking to you. So that's a strategy around that. So writing down is the first step. Obviously, this is another way what we're going to do. I want you to write down new limiting beliefs. What are some other limiting beliefs? So it could be, I'm not good enough. It could be, you know, I'm a fake, you know, I'm not worthy, or I can't speak in front of a camera well. Whatever those limiting beliefs that you write down is, I want you to write them down, and write down 2, and pause this video, obviously, if you need a little bit of time, and I'll come back after that. Cool. So you wrote down the 2 limiting beliefs. So what we're going to do is, this is another strategy on how we can wipe out limiting beliefs, and it's a consistent process. So what I want you to do is look at those 2 limiting beliefs, and right now, I want you to write down the empowering statement, the opposite of that belief. So if it wasn't, I'm not good enough, could be, I'm born good enough. I was born good enough. I'm always good enough. Whatever it is for you, but it has to be your language. It doesn't matter what I say, it's what you say. Because different words and different language stimulates different emotion in you. So ask yourself, what's the opposite of that belief? If I was the best version of myself, and I stepped into the best version. I closed my eyes and I visualized the best version of who I am, and I visualized and I felt it. This person, what does this person say about I'm not good enough? I was born good enough. This is who I am. Whatever it is for you, I want you to write it down. The opposite of that belief. If you said, I can't speak in front of a camera, what I want you to say is, I'm the best speaker in the world. And you're probably like, Zach, that's a lie though. It's a lie. We're going to hypnotize ourselves to believe it. And I'm going to show you something and exactly how to hypnotize yourself to believe anything. This is what we're doing to ourselves on a consistent basis, but we choose to believe the negative incantations, the negative things. I can't do that. I'm not worthy. All these limiting factors. But the truth is, they're just stories that we tell ourselves. They're stories, and stories hold us back from obviously expressing ourselves and being the best us. So this is a way of doing that. So I want you to write down 2 empowering statements that are the opposite of that belief. So if you read that empowering statement, it'd be the opposite, and it'd just pretty much look like to that limiting belief that that's just stupid. I want you to do that now. Cool, we're coming back from the video. Hopefully you paused the video and you wrote them down. So what another strategy is, and this is obviously in the rituals that I'm going to be more going over it and show you exactly, I'll show you exactly what I do on the morning rituals, and obviously next week we're going to go over the morning ritual. But pretty much what you would do is you would say something and say that empowering statement over and over again with intensity. So what I mean by it is you would do something physical with your body. So you might do push-ups, you might do sit-ups, you're just moving. It could be squats, it could be anything, to get yourself into a different state. Because if we move our body, like I said in state management, our instant emotions will change. Our emotions will change if we move our body. So what I want you to say is I want you to use your neurology and your physiology together. This is what I do. So for what I would say is I would say I'm the best coach in the world. I could say that. So what I would say is I do push-up and say I'm the best coach in the world. I use my emotions when I say it. I say it with my body and my emotions, because if we use our neurology, which is here, and our physiology together, it creates a new belief system. We start believing different things, and when we start believing different things, obviously we have different results, and obviously we start believing things about ourselves. I've done this with people, crazily enough, where someone couldn't speak in front of a camera or speak in front of an audience, and I took them through processes like that, and 4 months, literally a month later, after they've done it every day, every morning, like a consistent ritual, I say, hey, can you speak in front of a camera? I'm like, hey, I'm the best speaker in the world. That's what they instantly say, because they've said it to themselves enough. We hypnotize ourselves with our language. This is the power, and this is where the power comes from. If you want to speak things into existence, start speaking it into existence. That's what Muhammad Ali did. Before he was the greatest boxer in the world, do you know what he used to do? He used to box, but what he used to do is box. He'd say, I'm the best, no one can beat me, I'm the best boxer ever. And he'd do it consistently, and all of a sudden he'd start believing it. And you see him on TV, the interviews, and he's just got so much confidence. That's not confidence that he just obviously has and he's different to you. It's just because he's done a consistent ritual on a consistent basis, and he starts to believe whatever he tells himself. If you wake up in the morning and you tell yourself how great you are every single day, that'll become your reality. If you wake up every day and you say how bad your life is and focus on all the bad things, focus on your limiting beliefs, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm sorry, that's your reality. You speak things into existence. You speak pain into your existence, or you speak pleasure and obviously manifestation into your existence. You have a choice. So that's one way of wiping them out, and you won't even think about obviously those limiting beliefs if you do that. So that's obviously one way that we can do it. The second way would be challenging it. When was the last time you looked at your belief and challenged it, saying, is this really real? Is this belief system actually real? Because most of the time it's not real. It's not real at all. You're looking at the belief and it's just not real at all. When did you decide to believe that? Literally. When we don't challenge things, they stay there. But all of a sudden, if I challenge my beliefs, all of a sudden it gets a little bit weaker. It's like getting a screw and a screw's stuck there, but I've got to spin and say, what is this? And I kind of loosen it a little bit, and it starts getting looser and looser. The more we challenge things, the more it gets looser. That's why I love coaching, because if you tell me a limiting belief, what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge that belief. I'm going to challenge it, and I'm going to ask you, is it real? You can't tell me that belief, because I'm going to keep challenging it until I loosen up those screws. So if I loosen up that screw, your life will significantly change. So that's another way of doing it. So you can challenge it. That's another way. Another way is proving to yourself. Proving to yourself that it's fake. So what do I mean by that? What I specifically mean by that is You could say to yourself, I can't skydive, or I'm scared of heights, or whatever it is. But what you could do is just say, do you know what, I'm going to do the opposite of that. Even though I'm scared intellectually and I'm scared emotionally of skydiving, I'm just going to launch myself into it. And once I jump out of that plane and I'm screaming and I'm yelling, you'll have an epiphany. All the beliefs around skydiving will change. All the things that you're scared of in your life, you probably haven't even done before. Have you done once and decided to believe that I'm not good enough for that? But if you did it consistently, you did it over and over again, said, you know what, I'm not my past. The past does not equal the future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep doing it until my mind gets trained. That's another way of doing it. If you're scared of speaking in front of people, I can't speak in front of people. You know, I'm scared of speaking in front of a seminar room. I would launch a seminar and prove to yourself that it's all a fake lie. It's crazy, isn't it? So many of us have limiting beliefs and we never challenge them, and we never do them or try them again, and then we get 10 years, 20 years in advance, and then we finally do it. And all of a sudden you feel like, oh my God, it was always a ghost, but I never challenged it at the time, so my life stayed the same. If you want radical change in your life, what you must do is do the thing you're afraid to do and prove to yourself that it's fake. If you prove to yourself right now that that's fake, your whole beliefs will change instantly. You don't have to do that process because you're just doing it. That's the truth, you know. Look at the Nike ads. Just do it. Just do it's a good thing, because if you just do it, you put your analyzer mode off and say, do you know what, I'm just doing it. All of a sudden you have epiphanies, and belief systems will instantly change. You know, I always get people, I say, if you want to do something that you're afraid to do every day, your whole life will change. Because all these beliefs will be getting stripped. And remember I said, beliefs control our lives. If you're doing something you're afraid to do every day, all of a sudden all these things will be stripped from you, beliefs, and you'll become the person that you've always wanted to be. Obviously that's another way of doing it. Another way, this final way, it's a little bit more intense way, and I can obviously show you in the coaching session that we go through, but the biggest thing about this one is asking yourself the question, when did I decide to believe that? And how you would do it exactly is, let's just say you had a belief of, I'm not good enough. And you closed your eyes and you said, oh, I'm not good enough. And you feel that belief, and you ask yourself the question, when did I decide to believe this? Ask yourself the question, whatever I said, remember, subconscious mind, whatever first comes up is the answer. And then all of a sudden it'll tell you the answer. And all of a sudden when it comes up, ask yourself, do I still want to believe this? Because it's the same as challenging it, but you're doing a closed eyes process. And when we close our eyes, it opens up our subconscious mind. It gives us, and if it comes up to us, all of a sudden we can say, I don't want to believe this anymore. Because we're going into our past and we're changing the meaning of the experience. Like I said, we can't change the past. We can't change what happened in the past. And that's where all the beliefs started. We can't change the past, but what we can do is we can change the meaning. We can change the association in our nervous system of what they meant. And when we obviously change that, our whole life changes moving forward. That's why I love people that have trauma. The only reason people have trauma is because something happened in their past. But if we go back to the past and we really decide to believe something different back then with a closed eyes process, we go back there and decide something different, you won't have trauma again. I've worked with people that have this post-traumatic stress, that have all these challenges. And all of a sudden, all you have to do is go back, associate some new things in, and their life completely changes. This isn't rocket science. This is your mind, and this is how it changes. If you can get aligned with this, your whole entire life will change. So tell me about your biggest learning in the group. That's what I want you to do. I want you to tell me about your biggest learning in the group. Obviously, from these videos and this whole week, like, what was your biggest win, you know? What was your biggest win and your biggest challenge to overcome? I'm really excited to obviously hear that. That's just super important. Those are 4 simple ways that we can obviously break through some ways. And obviously that process you can go over and over again from obviously day two's session, which was an awesome session that you can keep going over. But next week, now that we've got over, and I want you to keep associating, whether you've got it about 2 days tomorrow, keep going through your limiting beliefs. The more you put into this course, obviously the more you're going to get out of it. So that's what I want you to do. So this next week is all to do with my favorite thing to do, which is rituals. Rituals, I'll tell you every single ritual that I do on a daily basis, and I'm no different to you. The only reason I have certainty and confidence, or getting on the phone and I was telling you all this stuff with certainty, and you're like, whoa, this guy's got a lot of energy. The only reason is because I do rituals. I'm no different to you. I just do rituals, and I'm so excited for next week's session. Week 4, rituals. You are your rituals, and I'm super excited to go into next week. So obviously do that video in the group and we'll go through rituals that can support you on your mission to success. Have a phenomenal day. Boom.